And good morning. It is Tuesday. Look who drove back to town over there. Odie will be making his return this morning at 7 o'clock. I hope you'll join us as we get ready for yet another wet day. It is in store for us. 80% chance of showers up and coming today. Keep that in your mind as to what you've got planned for the afternoon. We'll give you the timeline here in just a little while to plan your day and what you need to get done. Hardy, Tuesday, June 17th. July 4th is about that far away. It's moving quick, isn't it? Next thing you know, we'll be talking about Hallmark Christmas in July, and then it's really here. This year. Yeah. The old saying, and you always go back to what the old folks used to say of time gets faster. It's in warp speed, y'all. It's moving quickly and quicklier every day. Good morning. I do hope you're having a wonderful one. So good to see so many of you. We're going to come back and we'll get into a few of the headlines that are shaping America, let you know what to expect today. All that's on the way. Right now we'll go to Collinsville First Baptist Church.
Have you ever felt like you had no regrets about a time in your life? This phrase, no regrets, reminds me of the classic meme online that shows a man's tattoo that instead of saying no regrets, says no regrets. Oh, the irony. But in life, there are many times where we truly have no regrets about the decisions we make, whether it's job related or about that super awesome family vacation you took, whatever it is. Listen to what Paul says about having no regrets in Philippians 2:17 and 18. But even if I am poured out as a drink offering on the sacrificial service of your faith, I'm glad and rejoice with all of you. In the same way, you should also be glad and rejoice with me. You see, Paul compares himself to a drink offering being poured out, which was a recognizable analogy to both pagans and to Jews. The Roman pagans would pour out a portion of their wine to the gods, and Jews would sacrifice drink and burnt offerings in the temple of God. In either context, it is understood that Paul saw himself as sacrificing much on behalf of the Philippians in their work for the gospel. And remember that Paul says that even if I'm poured out, Paul, being in prison, doesn't yet know his fate. He may be martyred for his faith and evangelistic efforts, or he may not. But either way, he says, I am glad and rejoice with all of you. No matter what his future held, Paul had no regrets. So, Christian, live with no regrets. Even if it seems hard, live out the faith you so claim. Share Jesus with those around you. Live out a biblical and God-fearing lifestyle. Don't reach the end of your life filled with regret for the things you should have done, or for the things you should not have done. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Hope you enjoyed that. Wasn't that good? Always a good message to get as we begin each and every day. It's a blessing, isn't it? So glad to have you a part of it there. Let's look at radar before we get into some headlines that are shaping America. We do have rain showers that are occurring to our west. Vicksburg already getting a lot of rain as we see rain moving toward Kosciuszko in these areas as we move in. Yazoo City, just east of Carthage, a small shower. And this is what's going to affect your forecast for today. Your daily planning, you're going to get wet. We got some showers there south of Jackson today. If you're headed toward Monroe, Louisiana, expect showers. Delhi. As you get closer to Monroe, it's going to be more rain even up near Bastrop. So a wet day. As I said, 80% chance of showers. Your timeline is going to be somewhere around 1 o'clock this afternoon to, say, 7 o'clock tonight. We're going to see some showers there. We had a lot of wind. We'll get into that with the morning show this morning. I promise you, I was not joking yesterday when I felt the back of that Tahoe go up and come back down as the wind moved into the town yesterday. We got back to the studio as quickly as we could to cover the weather. But boy, we had a little rain shower come through, to say the least there. Again, how things happen, we'll see if anything becomes of this. Sometimes things are the early stages, I'll call it this. The Chinese Communist Party. Again, I don't know how much truth to this is, but we're hearing that the FBI has documents which reveal the Chinese Communist Party produced fake driver's license to skew the 20 election. We'll see. Now, again, that has not been proven, but that's in the headlines out there, and you should know that that's being said. Oil prices have fallen more than 1% on signs that Iran won't ceasefire with Israel. Now, at the same time that oil prices are falling, let me be clear. The great state of Mississippi has raised your gas prices. July 1, 3%, your taxes will go up on gas. All in a bid to get rid of the grocery tax. Again, I say this to everybody in Jackson. You have not done one single thing. You've just diverted. What you have done now for those who make their living by driving has risen the cost. It all washes out the same, but it will hurt those that drive for a living. Whether you deliver products or whatever the case is, it's going to make your taxes a lot higher there. When I say taxes, I mean that gas tax. Again, don't be fooled. No one has done a single thing to save you money. They've just diverted it, and in some cases making it worse on others. CNN, boy, it just keeps getting worse and worse for CNN as we look at these headlines. They're going to be breaking it off. It really is. It's declining that bad as it's bought up by Warner Brothers, Discovery. What they're doing now, they will separate CNN from the digital side of things and make it a separate company, showing that streaming is doing lots better than the actual TV network. TV networks are down, and we all know that. America does not watch the way they used to. Iowa. I can remember as a kid, we went to visit my uncle that lived in California. Never have I ever heard of it. 6 and 7 years old. We can't go water the grass. But they were doing that back then in California because they thought it was a drought. They're now doing that in central Iowa. First time ever they've banned you from watering your lawns. They said there's a water shortage. Hope they get that worked out. Manhattan is where we go next for our next big headline. I've read it 2 to 3. This version of this says it was 2 court officers that were cut as someone entered the courthouse with a knife. One was cut on his neck, one was cut in his arms pretty bad. They're going to be okay, but they have caught the suspect. Well, you can't be doing that. Manhattan attacked. Utah is where we go next, and you don't normally hear much out of Utah. It's just kind of a Vermont kind of state. It's just kind of there. Infant among 3 people that were fatally shot at a Utah carnival after an argument went bad. I'm telling you, these domestic disputes, they're awful. They do exist. And as we get, always remember, come July 4th, when people gather together, there'll be an argument later on. They do good at the first, and the longer they stay together, usually, not always, there's some drinking involved, and then they realize they really don't like them. Then they're brawling in the streets, and the police have to arrive, and, well, who knows what happens next. But that kind of summarizes what goes on there. And the hotter it is, the quicker temperatures are, as in your patience with people. You let it get hot, it's going to be an argument and a fight quickly there. We're up to 6 people in West Virginia that have died from flooding. They're still searching for other missing people in the great state of West Virginia. I don't know if you saw the video of all of this, to where it was a flood going through an apartment complex. It rose, started going through the windows, and before long, the entire building was down. Those folks lost everything they had. And don't get me wrong, I want everybody to remember this because we often see this, but it's just a true hard fact of life. Insurance. If you rent, get you some renter's insurance. It is not the person who owns the building's fault if you lose something, either whether it's stolen or burned or flooding. Make sure you've got that. That's one of those things I think that's just not looked upon. You don't think of it. But if you rent, no matter where you are, what part of the United States you're watching me from, make sure to get that. I know that we're insuranced out. There's no doubt. You've got insurance on it. You have insurance on your dogs now. If you've had to have them taken to a vet lately, you'll understand that. Why is Mississippi toothless? Have you been to a dentist lately? Woof. And let's be honest, dental insurance ain't worth the paper it's written on. What does it cover up to, $1,200 a year? Oh, that's one filling now. And let's just, what is it, $300 to $400 to have a tooth filled?
Something like that.
It's very high. Now, don't get me wrong, the dentists have a lot of expenses, but if you wonder why Mississippi is toothless, well, there you go. We thought we'd break that off to you gently and let you know what the problem was. Yeah. My, oh, my. They're offering, we had 4 escape. They've caught 2. They still have 2 to go. And they're upping it to $20,000 reward as we go to New York. New York. We have 2 people that have broken out of a detention center there. An immigration facility is what we're talking about. Some bad hombres, $20,000 being offered there. Maybe they'll be caught. We'll see. It is Franklin Norbert, I can't even pronounce it, Reyes, 20, and Andres Philippi, yeah, and he gets longer. He's 24. I have to be honest when I can't pronounce something, and boy, it's about yay long.
It is what it is.
It's that long there. I hope they catch those guys. We're going to give them some initials. This should have never happened. The Dodgers, they had a ball game coming up, and they hired someone to do the national anthem. It was explicit. You do this in English. What do you think happened? They sang in Spanish on purpose to be defiant. I have a cure for that. Whoever's in the sound room, you go click and you kill the mic.
Yeah.
You set an example for those, or you don't pay them. It nips it in the bud, as they say. It's just, there's too many people that want to do it their way and not do what they're hired to do. America. Y'all figure the rest out there. The Hodge Twins, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. They're 2 brothers that post a lot of news. This one disturbed me. You ever heard the term "we're going to hell in a handbag"? Mm-hmm. I've heard it all my life, and well, things like this they bother me to the core. There's one thing, and we often refer to Jesus Christ throughout our shows. We believe in God. I do believe that He's the only reason that I'm here today, being able to do what I do. Do I sin? I absolutely do, every day. I try to do better, but I still stumble and fall and make mistakes, but there's no excuse for this. Stephen Colbert, if you know who I'm talking about, he's a nighttime has a show at night. What do you call those nighttime television? Where they have guests on them. He calls it long overdue for female Jesus Christ to be cast in a new movie coming out, Jesus Christ Superstar. They've picked a female who is LGBT to play the part of playing the Son of God. I may not be there when you have to answer for these things. I know to some of you, you go, oh, there's nothing to it. It's a movie. It is something. It's poking fun at Christianity, and if it was done to something else, it wouldn't happen. Again, know when to stand up for something.
I wouldn't go watch it, though.
Well, I wouldn't watch it either, but it's the point of what these people are trying to do. Again, I go back. It will come a day and time. You've heard about this all your life, but they will offer rewards for Christians. That day is coming. Mark my word. It may not be next week, the year after that, but at some generation they will do it as though that they do it of turning in your neighbor if they worship Jesus. That day is coming. It may not be during this administration. It may not be the next, but one day it will happen on American soil. Y'all wait and see. What else have we got here? This Minnesota shooting, boy, this thing just gets worse and worse. Did y'all realize the puppy dog was even shot during this? Golden Retriever had to be put down yesterday as they tried to save it. Cops had made it. I had the timeline of this backwards. I thought the first shooting were the couple who died. It was not. The first couple that he went to lived. I think they're still in the hospital, but he broke in, got to the door, and told them it was a robbery when they realized he was not a cop. He shot them anyway. They did not perish. Police arrived on the scene, and they figured out something wasn't right. They rushed to other political figures' homes that were close, and that's where he was. And at that given time, he had not even gotten in the home yet when they arrived on scene. He was parked out front in a car. A police officer pulled up next to him and spoke to him, and he said nothing and stared in his car. He would eventually get out and go in the home and kill them while police were there. Now, there's different words of what went on. I haven't studied it close enough, but I think there may have been some gunfire exchange. But he went in the home, killed him, and then went out the back door. Such a shame. It's a mile-long list of people that he intended on taking out. Horrible that these things can happen in our country. And they may have happened when I was a kid, and I just didn't realize it. But it sure doesn't seem it. There's evil amongst us. As a matter of fact, we go here to a former Coast Guard lieutenant. He's been arrested. Y'all want to know what for? Threatening to kill the President of the United States. He'll have a long time to think that over. I don't exactly know why someone would want to do that. What else have we got here? The tweet of the day. How about that? I think we should mention this one. Donald J. Trump says, if I didn't put the National Guard into Los Angeles, the place would have burned down to the ground right now. I did incompetent Governor Gavin Newsom, who doesn't have a clue, the favor of a lifetime. One of the worst governors in history is what the president posted. Now, I know somewhere out there, those that are watching me rather at this moment, may not agree with that. Some do, some don't. But you cannot let your city be burned. Whoever it is. Peaceful is the way to do that. If you let one brick be thrown, then you've lost the war. You put it down, and the next one will not occur. It's just like a speeding trap. First 2 or 3 people get a ticket, they catch on pretty quick. That's the way you handle issues. Y'all get ready. It's going to be a lot of things coming July 1st when it comes to the police department here. A lot of changes are in store. Some are going to be liked, some are not going to be liked. And I'm talking within the department. Actually, somebody that people will have to answer to. Get out of here. The president has left the G Summit quickly to return to Washington, D.C. As a matter of fact, he's already arrived. He left early to address what's going on with Israel and Iran. Now, we're not involved in the war, and there's a lot of people that are scared, but he's come back to assess what's going on. With the blink of an eye, this could go either way, and we all know that when it comes to war. We're watching it closely. Let's hope all of this is handled quickly. Israel fighting for what they believe. We'll keep you up to date with all of that as it happens there. Let's see here. They're saying, well, they haven't, back to the shooter there, the manifesto, they have not released all of this yet, but they're saying it does not tell why he did what he did. There's some smart people, they'll figure this out. There's enough evidence to catch on after they've been to his home, into his car, and that list. That guy studied this over and over, went to their homes, watched and watched and watched. A lot of details on that. What else have we got this morning? I'm not a motorcycle rider. I did go to a meeting with Odie once to, who was that? The Pistoleros?
Bikers United for Children.
The Bikers for United for Children. That's as close as I've been to a motorcycle other than when I was a kid. I rode on the back and I was scared to death. The wind was coming faster than I could breathe. Pull over, let me off. But I do know this, when it comes to a motorcycle, when involved in an accident, the odds are not good. What park was this in? Devil's Tower. You know what I'm talking about? That place out in the Midwest that you see for miles? And it was captured on video. The guy's going down the road on his motorcycle, a brand new Harley, and his friend is behind him. He's rolling video, and a doe runs out in front of the biker in front. Believe it or not, he holds it. It totals the motorcycle, but he holds it and never crashes. He said it's happened to him twice. He was a heck of a biker. He held it. The guy that was filming, not quite so good. His bike got laid. He's going to be okay, but it totaled his motorcycle altogether. But something to watch there. If you're not experienced, I don't think you could have handled that. I don't know if I'd have handled it in the car. Most people can't. They run off the road and everything else. It comes out of nowhere. I don't know that y'all have been worried about this something ferociously. Last year, if you remember, the hot dog eating contest that takes place is called Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. The guy that won it for all those years got thrown out because he had taken an endorsement from a hot dog company that wasn't associated with this contest. You can't have both, so he was not allowed. He has made the announcement he's going back to win this year. He no longer has that endorsement and will participate. We wish him luck. I ain't never seen somebody put so many things in their mouth so quickly. That can't be good for you.
No.
I mean, it's just one after the other.
And plateful.
Yeah, and I would think you could easily choke on that. But again, enter at your own risk, do what you want, and whew, we'll be right back with that forecast next.
Hi, this is Nick at Doc's Toyota, and we are excited to put you in a new Toyota today. We have no dealer markup, no hidden fees, no hassle, and our inventory is always priced to move. Our top-notch sales department and first-class service after the sale guarantees you a fast and comfortable buying experience like you've never had. So come see why month after month, more and more customers have chose to buy from Doc's Toyota. So come see us here at Doc's Toyota in Philadelphia, at docstoyota.com or on Facebook, and remember, there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squeals Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealers simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealers are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealers Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
Welcome back. Let's get into our forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Those record highs and lows back in 22, it was 102 degrees. That was 3 years ago. Back in 1917, a long, long time ago, it was a cool 55. No word yet from Jackson on a detailed forecast, but we do have one from Alabama. 88 today there in Demopolis. As we go up to Tuscaloosa, we should see 86. Over to Auburn with those Tigers, about 88 is what we see. Even Montgomery has 90. Dangerous heat coming on Friday through Sunday. Y'all look at this over the weekend there. Mid-90s. Heat indexes should reach 105 over the weekend. And out to our west, Jackson, Newport, Columbus should see 110. It's going to be hot this weekend in Mississippi, so mark that down. Be prepared for that as we look at this 10-day outlook. Woo, warm in Mississippi. As we look at our 7-day forecast, let's back up here. 87 to 88 today, but we all agree there's an 80% chance of rain today. This should begin this afternoon, somewhere around 1-ish. Rain through at least 7 o'clock tonight. We'll see a high of 91 tomorrow, still a 60% chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday. As we get to Friday, to the end of the week, a 40% chance of rain. Over the weekend, it'll be hit and miss there, as we'll have a 30 and 40% chance of rain on both days. But look at that high, 94, and then you put that heat index of 105. It's going to be scorching over the weekend. As we look to another week all the way to July 1st, we're going to see above 90 temperatures most of the days, maybe around the 28th and 29th, dipping into the 80s. But otherwise, chances of rain each day and highs in the mid-90s through July 1st as we get near for, well, you know it, the July 4th celebration. As we look here, what's happening today with fishing, Clarkdale Superette has us out. Major times to fish with this afternoon from 5:20 until 7:20. Good time there. It was pretty good fishing up until 7 o'clock this morning, and a minor time to go today at 11 until noon if you're out and about. Sunrise happened at 5:47. Sunset will prolong until 8 o'clock tonight, about 8:04. Not bad at all. As we look at what's happening with the National Hurricane Center, we're still good for the next 7 days, picking up absolutely nothing on radar. That's good. Let's go back, speaking of radar, and take a quick look at what radar has to offer this morning. As we see that still those showers out to our west as we look at this toward Jackson. Those areas there around Kosciuszko, West Point getting wet. The worst of the rain that we're picking up happening right here above Ridgeland, Madison, that around Truett, Mississippi. If you're in that area, you're getting wet. Also, where's that at? Over near Deasonville, Mississippi. Up around Durant, those areas getting wet today. We'll be back in just a few moments as we're going to start today. Odie is back. We got coffee brewing. We're ready. How are you? get ready. We'll tell you all about what happened in the area and across the state and great nation coming up at 7 o'clock. Join us, won't you? Big thank you to WMOX Radio for joining us. We'll see you soon as we'll get the morning show underway.